Zen Master Hogan, he always used to say that chanting the Heart Sutra was Zen pranayama. Prana, the chi, the energy in the body. Yama, mastery. Yama, the Lord of Death. Because they say when you're holding the breath in pranayama, even if your heart should come up into your mouth, you should still hold the breath. Fear, the fear of death, is one of the primary blockages in the base chakra. So by holding the breath, one of the primary techniques of pranayama, kumbhaka, holding the breath. When you're holding the breath, for however long you hold the breath for, the oxygen starts to deplete in the body. And they've got this little messenger, sensor, in the brain. And it's going, breathe, you fool, you'll die! It's going, ah! And the blockage in the base chakra is going, ah! And so, in pranayama, you come face to face with one of the primary blockages which afflict all humanity. Because why do we meditate? Why do we pranayama? Why do we yoga? And the reason is that although we're born pure and perfect, still there is original sin. And original sin is all the energy blockages that you have gathered, that you have created, that you have absorbed through 1,000 lifetimes of evolution. And the amount of gross negative energy that you have absorbed, the amount of gross energy blockages that you have absorbed, is the reason why you are evil. Inside of you, on your left shoulder, you've got the devil. On the right shoulder, you've got an angel. And depending upon how many energy blockages, depending upon how many negative energies you've got inside of you, then the mind will be hearing more or less of the devil, or more or less of the angel. You've got 100% of psychic energy inside of you. If you have more than 50% energy blockages and negative karmic mass and negative energies, then you will always decide to do the evil thing. You will be evil. And as you reduce the negativity, as you reduce the energy blockages, as you reduce the negative emotions, as you reduce the negativity, so you will become, what's the word for a saint? You will become more saint-like. You will be more like Mother Mary. You'll be more like Jesus Christ. You will decide to do the right thing. And people say, well, why should I become enlightened? It's just too difficult. I'm just happy being the way I am. Well, have you ever noticed the way the world is? Have you ever noticed why people are always making the decisions to do the evil thing. Have you ever noticed the politicians, the priests, the police, the prostitutes, the prostitutes, and they all work for Satan because it's easier that way. They get paid. If you want to make this world a better place, do it for yourself first, but know that as you reduce the amount of negativity within yourself, so you, as a functioning imago Dei, as a functioning made in the image of God, as a functioning part of God, you will start to affect your environment. And indeed, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi said that if I can get 10,000 meditators together, we can change the whole energy feeling of a city. And I say, if you can get 10,000 energy enhancement meditators together, then you can affect the whole world. It is only goodness that can defeat evil. It is only angels that can defeat the devil. So, if you want the world to go on as it is, in the same way that it is, then please don't meditate. But if you want to change yourself for the better, if you want good karma, if you want justice and mercy to follow you for all the days of your life, then please meditate. And don't meditate in the normal fashion of the traditional meditations, because over thousands of years, all the original techniques have been hidden, occulted, lost. If you want to learn how to meditate, to zone out, if you want to meditate to go to sleep, if you want to meditate and not affect your evolution faster, then please just use normal meditations. But if you want to learn how to ground negative energies, if you want to learn how to take all that negative energy within yourself and ground it, to get rid of it, then please use energy enhancement. Energy enhancement, grounding negative energies, accessing infinite energies from the chakras above the head, removing energy blockages, and not just removing energy blockages, eliminating energy blockages, and not just eliminating energy blockages, abolishing energy blockages. That's what I say. Good. Keywords, yeah? That's Onisa. Just talking to him. If you want to master the energy connections which exist between you and all of your friends, if you want to master the energy connections that exist between you and all of your family, if you want to master the energy connections that exist between you and your mother and you and your father, then please learn energy enhancement. Make all your relationships good relationships. Manage everything around you, because you are not alone. You are all one. You are connected with the universe. And the psychic map of how we connect with the universe is that thing which turns the seed into a tree. If you put the seed in a box, it'll stay there for 4,000 years. They found them in the pyramid, seeds inside the pyramids in Egypt, 4,000 years old. But you connect that seed with the universe. You plant it in the ground. You introduce it to water. You introduce it to the sky above. And that tree will put down roots. It will grow into the ground. A shoot will come out of the top of the seed, and it will stretch its leaves up towards the universe above. It is connected. It's not just what you can see. There is, in fact, a psychic connection between everything that lives and everything that is. If you want to learn about these psychic connections, if you want to remove the blockages that prevent these psychic connections, if you want to access infinite energy, if you want to ground all of your negativity, then please learn energy enhancement. Would you like to ask a question? Anybody? Questions, questions, questions? Please ask me a question. Please. Any question, even a stupid question.
Where did our first blockages come from?
Where do the first blockages come from? How did we become blocked? How much of an explanation do you want? Do you want the easy explanation, or do you want the more complicated explanation? Sheesh, you could go on forever as to why this all is. You know, why do we have energy blockages? Why? Well, you said, where do they come from? Yeah, but, you know, the energy blockages, my God.
Well, the Catholic or the Christian say because of the original sin.
Well, that's the really easy solution. Explaining it all. But I'd like to give a little bit more, please, you know, to where do energy blockages come from? And really, energy blockages come from God. You know, you get cows, you get antelopes, you get zebras, you get cats, you get dogs, and in their natural state, they're just naturally connected with God. They just do what God tells them to do. There ain't no blockage to their flow. But God was wanting to create some people that were equal to himself. He was wanting to train up some children gods, some little gods, so he could talk to them. He's a bit alone, poor thing. He wants to have somebody to talk to. And so he devised this technology of how to create beings like himself. And it's all explained in the Bible. It's all explained in the Bible. He created I can't remember the words now. He created, what did he create?
Everything in 7 days.
He created everything in 7 days. Well done. That's not the answer I was looking for. What did he create? I've talked to you about this before. You know the answer.
He created what? An energy? What? He created a test, did he? A training ground to help evolve us?
Absolutely. He created a training ground to evolve us. But how did he do that? What did he do? He gave us free will, free choice. He gave us free will. Now, if you have free will, then you have the possibility of going against the rule of always doing the right and good thing. You know, the little child says, "Mommy, Mommy, why do I have to do the right and good thing all the time?" And God says, "Well, my child, do the wrong thing and see what happens." All right then, let me do the wrong thing. Oh, I can do all sorts of wrong things here. And so you do. You dive deeply into corruption for 1,000 lifetimes. And you find out about the law of karma, because God also created this law of karma. What you do, you receive. What goes around, comes around. Yeah, thank you. She was quick. Think here, what's going on? Yeah. What goes around comes around. So all of these people saying, you know, God, why am I going to do the right and good thing all the time? And they find out because they keep on doing the wrong things and they get all this karma happening to them. You know, it's really condign. Condign means a just retribution. Condign punishment. Yeah? A just retribution. You get retributed. And it's horrible, the things that happen, you know? I mean, you go through the world and you see all these horrible things happening to people, you know? And you think, my God, I mean, when I was a child, one of the things that drove me was the idea that I wanted to remove all the pain in the world. I thought, why is all this pain here? And so God's been teaching me. He's been saying, Satchi, this is why you need pain. You know, I mean, lots of people complain about it. They say, God made the world, He created all the pain, He's a bastard! And they start fighting against God because He created all that pain. But if you understand that God is providing a training ground, like a game, and there's different levels in it, you know, and you know, He tests you because you know all of these things between lifetimes. He's teaching you in universities between lifetimes. But here, on this planet, this is the examination hall. This is where you get tested. And so, like in any video game, before you can go to the next level, you've got to pass the test. You've got to keep on, you've got to do the right thing, and you've got to keep on doing the right thing in the face of enormous odds. And every negativity within you that you've gathered over 1,000 lifetimes of playing fast and loose with life, all those energy blockages that you've got within you are fault lines in the soul. And the only way to pass the tests is by integrating the psychic body, making it more contiguous, making it more dense, making it more interconnected. Densifying it, connecting it with higher sources of energy. And all of those energy blockages, all of those negativities, striate your psychic body and make it weaker, so that when you come to be tested, you fail. The only way to pass the tests is to remove all the negativity, to remove all the energy blockages, to become pure, to become perfect, to be connected, like the seed, with infinite supplies of the water of life, the energy of existence, of the connection with God. It's the only way you can pass the tests. Because if you don't pass the test, the next day you're going to get the same test. And these tests are bloody hard. So all I can say to you is, if you get tested, pass the test. How do you pass the test?
Do the right thing.
You do the right thing. How do you do the right thing? How do you do the right thing?
If you are connected with your heart.
You get rid of the energy blockages. You get rid of the negative energy. And you said to me, where do all these energy blockages come from? They come from doing the wrong thing 1,000 lifetimes ago. And you created all this negative energy, these energy blockages. And the word for all of these things is called karma. See, she knew what it was. You lot, you're a bit slow. Come on, you know, get on the ball here. Sheesh. Karma. This is why you are born into this lifetime, in the position, in the place where you are. If you can crawl out of your karma, if you can get sufficient energy to raise the head above the parapet of your karma, then and only then can you learn energy enhancement. It takes a lot of energy to get to the level, you know, of being able to learn energy enhancement. But it's the only solution. It is the only solution to life, the universe, and everything. So where do energy blockages come from? It means when God said to you, "Here you are, my boy, there's free will. What do you want to do with it?" "I want to do the wrong thing. I want to do it now." And so you do the wrong thing and you get all these energy blockages and negativities and things. And then all sorts of horrible things start happening to you in your next lifetime. And you've got 1,000 lifetimes of that. You know, because you did the wrong thing. You didn't follow the rules. You didn't do the right and good thing now and in the future. You kept on doing the bad thing, you know? I mean, just look at the world. I mean, look at how many bad things it's possible to do. And not just to do to yourself, but to do to millions of other people once you get the power to do it. Where do energy blockages come from? Where do all the energy blockages in the world come from? They come from 7 billion people all doing the wrong thing, all at once, all the time. That's why this world is the way that it is. And you've got to be thankful that evolution is in striations, it's in layers. You know, on the bottom layer, you know, that's called hell. You get the next layer up, it's a little bit above hell. And so it goes up to the level of energy enhancement. It's the final layer before you become enlightened. Because to become enlightened, you have to have the power, you have to have the goodness to remove all of your energy blockages. And when I say the power, it's not just wanting to do it, therefore it is. It's not magic or magical thinking that says, "Oh, I feel like I want to be enlightened, so I am." No. Before you can become enlightened, you have to remove, you have to burn up, you have to ground all of your negative energy. You have to remove, eliminate, abolish all of your energy blockages. And when 100% of you is glowing with the light of God, where there is no blemish, where there is no pecado, where there is no sin, only then will you be strong enough to do the right thing and keep on doing the right thing. Because I think this is a quote, a direct quote from American Beauty, and I think that it's spoken by Kevin Spacey, that absolutely wonderful person. And he said, "Let's all work for Satan because it's easier that way." So who are you guys working for, eh? Ay, ay, ay. Now, come and work with energy enhancement. It's a much nicer place to be. Promise you. You're in Iguazu, energy center of the world, filled with geodes and beautiful birds and wonderful things. Only here can you learn how to get rid of your energy blockages, how to get rid of your karma, the karma cleaning process. This is what we're talking about. It's not a matter of where your energy blockages came from. That's way back in the mists of time. All we're interested in doing is removing them. We don't care where they came from and where they go to. We just want to remove them from our psychic bodies. And we want to become a living connection, a living channel of the water of life to relieve the thirst of all those who cry out for deliverance. Come to me who are weary and heavy laden, because that is karma. Karma is like a stone on your back of all that negativity and energy blockages and bad connections with everything in the universe. And you're saying, why is this happening to me? Why am I a carotid buried under a stone? Why am I so burdened and weary and heavy laden? Why? Because, my boy, you need to learn how to get rid of it all. You need to burn it, dissolve it. Just easy peasy. Do it now. Yeah. And once you've done that, you find that everything opens up to you. Get rid of your energy blockages. Get rid of your negativity. Connect with infinite energy. Do it now. Don't wait. You can get a video. We'll teach you how to do this. You don't have to come here to do it. As a matter of fact, it's probably impossible for you to come here now. It's very difficult for negative energy to cross into a space of pure, perfect energy. You know, the quantum leap is too great. You have to improve all by yourself where you are. You can't get here. And if you do get here, you'll get thrown out by a whirlwind, a torrent, a tormenta, a cyclone, a hurricane of energy. It'll just cast you out. You can't just come here. You have to become perfect before you can enter into perfection. It's a process. It takes time. It takes effort. To create a good habit is very bitter in the beginning, but it is very sweet in the end. To create a bad habit is very easy in the beginning, but it's very difficult and bitter in the end. You know, a habit is called an addiction. Yeah? All you who are addicted to doing the wrong thing, who have lost faith, who have been buried in the shit of the world, who are swimming in horrible things. You know? You've got to put a bit of effort into overcoming all of that. But the good thing is, there is a path, and it works. It's very easy to do. Any more questions? Was that good? Was that all right?
Absolutely.
Have you got anything to add? No? I don't know whether I went into it complete, but I think it's okay. I'm all right. Are you all right? Is it good? All right, good. Questions, come on, more questions.
Well, actually, what you were saying reminded me of what we saw in the Lone Ranger yesterday, when Tonto gives this pocket watch, which he gets from, very innocently accepts as an exchange from men who had very bad intentions, and as a result, the karma of his actions were horrible, because what he then later on in the movie says, he gives back that pocket watch, and he says, bad trade, because we've made bad trades in our life, and it's just another way of saying that we're kind of rectifying all these bad trades. But he had to go through a whole long process in order to rectify the repercussions of that karma. So that kind of reminded me of the, the sin, that we make one mistake in a lifetime, and then we kind of, have to reel back all that karma. We have to kind of deal with it, because it doesn't just affect us. Like him, it affected his whole family. So we're also, like what you said, we're swimming in a mire of blockages, because it's not only our blockages, it's our family blockages, world blockages.
Yeah.
We need all the help we can get.
Yeah,
Don't
this young Tonto, 6 years old, he finds two men dying in the desert. He brings them back to his village. He brings them back to life. He gives them water. He gives them food. And as they're taking the water out of the river, they see this silver stone, which is just pure silver, a rock of pure silver. And it's been swept down from the mountains, high in wherever it was in America. And they said to the little boy, little boy, please tell me where the source of the river is, so we can find the mother lode of silver and become rich like Croesus. And the little boy said, no. And they said, look, my boy, here's a pocket watch. You can have this pocket watch if you show us where the mother lode is. And he says, all right. And he takes them to the top of the river and he says, there, that's where the mother lode is. And these people, really bad people. I mean, the young boy, he thinks everybody is like him. He believes in justice. He believes in goodness. He thinks because he is good, everybody he sees is good. He doesn't understand that these are bad people. And these bad people think, well, now we know where the mother lode is. We don't want these Indians telling anybody else where the mother lode is, because they'll take it all away from us. So they go down the mountain into the village and they shoot everybody. The women, the children. It's called a pact of blood. They usually do it when you join the mafia. Before you can join us, my boy, you got to go out and kill somebody. Now that guy over there, he's walking down the street. Go and kill him, and then you can join the mafia. And it's called a pact of blood. It means like Anakin Skywalker wants to join the Sith. If you turn Sith around, it means this. It means this is the way it is in the world. Before he can join the Sith, he's got to make a pact of blood. And so the chief Sith, Emperor Palpatine, whatever his name is, he says, right, my boy, you go down to the temple and you kill all the kids. And Anakin goes, right on, no problems. And he goes down to the temple and he goes woof, woof with his magic sword, and he chops them all into dog meat or whatever. They're all dead. It's called a pact of blood, because once you've done it, you think, I'm an evil person. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to overcome this evil deed that I have done. I must be evil because I have done this evil deed, and there's no way I'm ever going to come back from that.
Even so, it's possible to believe in that. Very much.
And so, the young Tonto, which means stupid in Spanish, because, really good people who are naive are really stupid. They are called Tonto. He's away in the mountains when he hears all of these gunshots, and when he gets back to the village, his two friends who gave him the pocket watch have gone, and all of his family and all of his friends and the whole village is just lying in pools of blood on the ground. And he goes, bad trade. Because, like an animal, he was totally innocent before this bad thing happened to him. You know, where do energy blockages come from?
Lack of knowledge.
Like trade. He did not know the consequences of his actions, and he took those consequences onto himself and wanted to right those consequences. But we learn in yoga, don't take the fruit of your actions, simply dissolve the energy blockage. Become more perfect, become more wise, become more clued up, you know? Don't be naive, don't be stupid. Yeah? So Tonto teams up with the Lone Ranger. Kino sabe. In Spanish that means he who knows nothing. He's a total idiot, just like Tonto. And together, as idiots, the fool out of the tarot. In the tarot, the fool means the soul. It means a person, an angel, who steps in where angels fear to tread. That's the meaning of the soul. If he doesn't know, he needs to get the consequences of his actions, and only then will he know not to do the same thing again. Don't do it. Be good. So there you go. That's my response to that. It wasn't really a question, was
You
it?
need to have
No.
experience.
Yeah, you need to get clued up. You need to understand about evil and how it acts on the planet so you don't get involved in it yourself. You need to know the bad side before you can be really good. You can't be really good if you're innocent, if you're stupid, if you're a tonto, if you're a kino sabe. Yeah? And never take off your mask. My name is Satchidanand. Never take off the mask. Any more questions? You've asked a question. You've asked a question. It's your birthday today. You have to ask a question. The most stupid question in the world. Ask it now.
Be nice to hear a response on all the, the spiritual people on the internet say they don't need to clear themselves because they're perfect as they are. So maybe good to respond to that because.
So the question is about all these people on the internet saying they don't need to do anything because they're perfect as they are. And I think I sort of said about this before, that it's not enough to have this magical thinking to say, okay, now I'm perfect, now I don't need to do anything. This is not the truth. Unless you know the techniques of the grounding of negative energies, unless you know the ancient spiritual techniques of the removal of energy blockages, you will still be compliant to karma. Bad things are going to happen to you. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali it says, it is possible to eliminate future karma. And it gives you all the techniques of how you do it. You just have to be able to interpret them correctly. Yeah? So, Tonto, don't be stupid. Come and learn energy enhancement, the real deal, the real techniques that will enable you to be pure, to be perfect, to pass the tests. Is that right?
I want to ask a comment. Today I was reading or seeing a video, and they take the argument to twist the truth. The guys in the wrong path. Listen, they were talking about Jesus, and they were saying Jesus didn't like the God which is named in the Bible, which I agree totally what Jesus was saying, because Jehovah is an extraterrestrial or whatever, a demon, who will manipulate the humanity. This is true. There is another God different than the God is mentioned in the Bible, Jehovah. This is true. But because of that, they say, we are trapped in this matrix, and it's all the fault of God, between brackets. And this is twist the reality. And they were saying, we need to know how to get out of this matrix and never come back again to this setup. And they say, this is the responsibility of God. Twist the reality.
Yeah, I was talking about this before. They blame God for everything.
Totally wrong.
But in my explanation, I was saying, don't blame God. God is very even-handed about this. If you do bad, you get karma. If you do good, you get good karma.
It's a clear law.
And so this argument is the argument of the Luciferians, who say that this God is bad because he is the God of pain. He is the God of bad things happening. They say, let us follow the light bringer, Lucifer, who is just so much better than God. You know, it's a little bit like in The Lord of the Rings. They say Sauron was a creation, an angel of God, who was cast out. But because he was God's favorite angel, God decided to put a little bit more time into Sauron to make him understand how he shouldn't go against God. So these people, they're a little bit like the guys that complain against God, but God's still allowing them to exist. He's not sort of making them go up in a puff of smoke. He's saying, look, you guys, you need to really understand. You know, like he says to Lucifer, look, Lucifer, you might think that you can make a perfect world, but the world that you have created is this world. I'm just standing by looking at it. And everything that Sauron made in The Lord of the Rings was just a copy, a direct copy of something that had been made by God and was worse. For example, God creates the elves, Sauron creates the orcs, who are elves mutilated and tortured, degenerated. And Lucifer has been cast out of heaven, but he has a tremendous energy. He shines like the light. But that light is not connected with God. It is a lesser light. And he exists in the astral plane, high in the chakras above the head, where all the bad people, the people who follow Lucifer, live once they've learned how to get outside the body. And it is these people that are so oppressing all the people on the earth, because they cannot take the energy of God, and they are dependent upon their human cattle for energy. They are energy vampires. And all of us people down here on earth who are connected with God, just a little bit, every night when we go to sleep, we connect with God and our batteries get recharged, like the udders of the cow get charged up with milk every day. And so we go to the cow and we go, take the milk, and we live on it. And it's exactly the same with these guys who live with Lucifer in this planet. I think it's called Sirius, up here, you know? I think Alice Bailey talked about the band of evil people who live on Sirius. Well, there's also a band of really good people who live on Sirius as well. It's divided into two. These people, they come down on the planet, and every day your spiritual energy that you got every night by being in contact with God. That's how they live. That's how they insulate themselves from pain, by giving 1,000 times more pain to everybody else on the planet. I think that's all I want to say on the subject at the moment. All right?
Namaste.